Last season, one of the worst seasons for Pep Guardiola. No, it was the worst season ever. We all know that Pep Guardiola, since he started coaching in 2008, either he was winning the titles or he was placed second in the leagues that he played in. But last year, it was an exception. The performance wasn't great. The results weren't the best, especially he wasn't able to play round 16 on the Champions League. But this season, Pep Guardiola is coming with another philosophy. So let's dive in. Pep Guardiola played this game and and he wasn't only thinking about Dortmund, but he was thinking about Liverpool. Why? Because there is a clash between Manchester City and Liverpool. So therefore, we're gonna analyze Manchester City today and expose their strength and their weakness, especially during the build-up and high press and during different phases of the game. Pep Guardiola started with a formation of 4-1-4-1. The purpose of this formation is to maximize central attacking density, especially that Foden and Reijnders right in front of Nico Gonzalez. And we saw him as well, counting on the width, Doku on the left and Savinho on the right flank. And Dortmund started the formation with 3-4-3. Nikokovic started this formation to implement high press and deploy threats through Adimi and the central channels. Especially he utilized Gerasi with the high press, and we're gonna show that in the upcoming moments. From the beginning, it was obvious that Pep Guardiola studied his opponent. He knows that Borussia Dortmund loves to build up from the back, especially that their goalie is good with the ball, so they try to include him during the build-up. That Pep Guardiola put Haaland and Foden right in front of them just to cut the passing lanes, as well as he tried also to implement this formation during the high press 3-2-3-2. So this formation gave Pep Guardiola the solidity during the high press, and he tried to implement as well man-to-man marking as well as zonal marking, as we could see in minute 616 when the goalie was forced to play the ball to Anton, and Anton was he tried to find someone to play to. There was another 3 players covering the passing lanes, so he was forced to play a long ball. It's interesting what's happening to Pep Guardiola. After 15 years, he doesn't care about holding the possession anymore. As we saw in this game, the stats were 50% in possession. So he doesn't care about it anymore. What he cares about, being direct to the goal and score more goals. So we saw that he scored 4 goals with 50% possession. That's why he attempts to get the ball in the opponent final third by implementing high press, because it's easier to score when you get the ball in the final third or in the opponent's third. And if that doesn't work, he tries to implement mid press, and he changes his formation during high mid press with 4-4-2, as we could see in minute 22 when he tried to implement high mid press and blocking all the passes key and recover the ball. For these ideas and tactics to work, you need tools, and Pep Guardiola is lucky to have these tools. Especially having Haaland with the high press is actually destroyer, and at the same time having Phil Foden, who was the best player in the Premier League 2 seasons ago, but last season he wasn't his best shape. This season he's back with his amazing performance. As we saw today, he scored an amazing goal in minute 21 from a shot from outside the box What an amazing goal. At the same time, Erling Haaland didn't keep quiet. Erling Haaland was able to score for the fifth game in the Champions League in a row. And that goal was a result of an individual skills and brilliance from Doku. To be honest, Pep Guardiola is so lucky to have these kind of players. He doesn't just have one squad, he has two squads. Besides having these amazing forwards, Pep Guardiola is lucky to have an amazing midfielder who was able to link up between lines today, as we could see in minute 37. Reijnders, this player, he didn't play last game, but in this game, linking up between the defenders and the attackers. And behind him, who was there? Nico Gonzalez, who performed an amazing game last game. But in this game, he was playing between the defenders, helping out during the mid-press. And there is one player that I don't want to forget to mention, is O'Reilly. This guy, sometimes I wonder whether he is a left back or he is an attacker. We saw him missing a dangerous chance in minute 27, as well as I saw him in minute 69. He was next to Haaland, and I saw this guy in minute 30-31. He took the ball and he tried to cut the pitch diagonally. It is amazing how this guy thinks. He reminded me of Mendes. I believe this guy is gonna have a bright future. After we talked about the changes that happened to Manchester City during the high press and the mid block, I want to talk about the build-up strategies that has changed from last season. Pep Guardiola used to build up from the back 3-2-4-1, but this season he changed it to 3-2-3-2. As we could see in minute 61, we saw that the building up from the back started from Guardiola. He's the main person that starts the build up from the back. And sometimes we see that Nico Gonzalez drops between the defenders and starts building up. And right in front of them, we would see Nico Gonzalez alongside with O'Reilly. Yes, as we could see that O'Reilly opens up on the flank and Nico Gonzalez stays in the central midfield. And if Nico Gonzalez drops between the defenders, you would see Reijnders come back and take his spot. Struggled with building up from the back when Borussia Dortmund tried to implement a high press on Stones. We saw that the bad decision that Stones made, instead of him giving the ball to Nunez, he gave it to Nico Gonzalez. And Nico Gonzalez was marked by 3 players. And in this situation, Borussia Dortmund applied zonal marking and man-to-man. And to be honest, I want to give it up to Cherki. His positioning, his body positioning, he forced Stones to not give it to the goalie and forced him either to give it to Nunez or to Nico Gonzalez. But Stones made the wrong decision and gave it to Nico Gonzalez, who was marked by 3 players. Nico Gonzalez was surrounded by 2 players, Ademi and Sabitzer. They blocked the passing lanes, so he was forced to give it to O'Reilly. And O'Reilly was marked, as we could see, by Reijnders. As soon as O'Reilly got the ball, Reijnders applied the pressure on him, so he had to give it back to Guardiola. And Guardiola was pressed by Ademi, so he had to return it to Donnarumma. And Donnarumma gave it to Stones, who was marked as well by Cherki. So Cherki implemented the high press on him, so he was able to tackle the ball. And this created a chance for Dortmund to score, but they missed the chance. Pep Guardiola should watch out from teams who implement high press, as we know that on Sunday he's playing against Liverpool, and Liverpool loves to implement high press. Manchester City is improving. I think they're getting better and better every game. So there is a lot of room for improvement, and let's keep in mind this is just the beginning of the season, and the season is quite long. At the end of the video, I want to thank you for tuning in, and if you like our content and want to support us, don't forget to subscribe and give us a like button, and peace.